What's up everybody? Frank from 5AM Ramen here, and today I'm with ramen legend Brian from Ramen Adventures.
What's going on, Ramen Adventures? Let's do this.
Let's do this. So today we're actually in Tokorozawa and there's a Ramen Walker event. Brian actually works with Ramen Walker. He's on the inside. Maybe Brian, you could tell us a little bit. Well, first of all, maybe tell us a little bit about Ramen Adventures and then also the event itself. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm Brian from Ramen Adventures, and I have a ramen blog. I'm a ramen hunter in Japan, YouTube channel, all that stuff. But I started working with Ramen Walker magazine last year, and today they're opening the Ramen Walker Kitchen out here in Tokorozawa. And we're actually here for the grand opening press event.
And where can we find you? Ramen Adventures, so you mentioned YouTube.
Everything's Ramen Adventures.
Look him up. Brian goes deep, like into the countryside. He gets on his bike. I guess Ramen Rider is your other moniker, right? So
we're trying to hit up shops all over Japan.
Have a look at his stuff. And yeah, I think today we're going to enjoy a bowl inside, right? As part of the event, if we can.
I think so. You know, this is the kind of pre-opening. I didn't realize it was going to be a pre-opening of this entire complex. This whole place is produced by Kadokawa, which is the publisher, Ramen Walker.
And as Brian said, they're not messing around today. There's a lot of people here, of course, a lot of press. Yeah. I think we stumbled into an anime event.
We went into the wrong
auditorium.
Serious.
Yeah, and after about 10 seconds, we're like, okay, this is probably not where we're supposed to be. So there's a lot of stuff going on here and a lot of cool architecture, I think.
This thing here.
Yeah, this is very impressive.
Kadokawa Culture Museum, and the design, everything is wild. Yo, this is cool.
And yeah, today we're going to focus on the ramen aspect of that. Let's do this.
Let's just focus on the ramen kitchen.
Yes. Yup, this Ramen Walker Kitchen event is a big deal. You have 10 legends from the ramen world here today for the opening and ribbon cutting. Literal ramen gods. Everyone from Ikota-san of Ramen Nagi to Sakata-san of Shichisai. As it turns out, we will be getting a bowl of ramen, and today it's coming from Sakata-san and Shichisai. The Ramen Walker Kitchen is about showcasing different ramen at different times, working with these legendary ramen shops. It's like an epic ramen pop-up with a permanent home. Thanks to Brian, we got a special pass. So, we're getting inside before the official ribbon cutting. We're seated with the press, and when it starts, the team explains to us what the Ramen Walker Kitchen is all about and what to expect. They dramatically introduce the 10 ramen shop supervisors, as they call them, and each of them says a few things. From here, they dramatically introduce the first ramen shop to be featured at the Ramen Walker Kitchen, Sakata-san and the Shichisai team. Before the actual ramen coming from Shichisai, we were pleasantly surprised to receive little hors d'oeuvres from each of the 10 supervisors. Here's us when these little appetizers arrived. Were you expecting this?
Yeah, not at all. I didn't know what was going to happen, but yeah, we got a little bite from each chef. Yeah, it's looking good, man. We got some lobster bisque, some bunch of different chashus with different sort of toppings on top, and
yeah, there's a little bit of niboshi there, I think, from Nagi with the spicy oil, right? I think there's 2 soy sauces, and then the wagyu kind of really glowing.
I'm going straight for the wagyu.
Going straight for the wagyu, yes.
It's a big fatty piece.
That is
I like this.
A big piece, my God. Then there's the ramen itself from Shichisai. It's delicious, of course, and with their signature thick, carefully prepared noodles. After the ramen, we come out and get to see the actual ribbon cutting and unveiling of the Ramen Walker Kitchen to the public. Countdown and everything.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There was a big lineup to get into the place after this. Here's us with full stomachs and after the ribbon cutting. All right, so we just wrapped up and that was a lot of fun. Thanks for the invite. Thanks to Brian, we got an insider view. Yeah, what did you think? We had a lot of things to sample from each of the ramen lords, if you will, and then a bowl at the end to top it off.
Yeah, I mean, all the people, all the supervisors of this thing are, you know, some of the legends of the ramen world out here. And yeah, they're working together. They're doing a lot of collaborations. It's gonna be different like every week, and you know, who knows what it's gonna be. But today we had an interesting one.
The bowl we had was relatively light, a light soy sauce with kitakata noodles, which have a lot of water in them, so a wonderful kind of chewy slipperiness.
Chewy, timomi, like the hand.
Yes.
Hand press.
They make the noodles for every bowl like on site, so it takes a little bit more time. Pay a lot of attention to their noodles in the process. There was an ingredient in the soup that, you know, kind of threw everyone off. But it was funny because he introduced it, right? It's like, maybe some of you might know what this ingredient is. I don't think any of us knew. I certainly didn't. I don't know if you did. But he's using deer bone, right?
Yeah, deer bones. Shika no hone, right?
Yes, yes.
You served me a piece of deer and didn't tell me what it was. Seasoned it with a lot of soy sauce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I'll have some god tongue.
No, same here. I wasn't able to detect maybe the deer, but it did have this wonderful richness. I think what I assume was maybe chicken and or pork bones, and then the deer maybe added to that
It was a little,
as well.
like a little more intense.
Right. Maybe a little more gamey, so that makes sense. So a punchy light shoyu ramen with wonderfully chewy noodles as per what they normally do. You know, maybe you feel the same way just standing there in that room with all of those legendary ramen chefs. Yeah, how do they make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. You know, they're all real friendly guys, but you know, they are kind of the royalty in the ramen game. And
we rolled very deep today. Thank you again for the invite. And this is a lot of fun. You know, Tokorozawa is about an hour out, and I think what they're doing here is very interesting.
Yeah, and this whole building's kind of a reason to come out here. So, you know, I think, and there's a big anime theme going on out here, which I don't know much about, but if you're otaku level, like definitely come out here and do anime stuff and eat some good ramen. Right?
Yeah, they got an anime hotel right next to the Ramen Walker Kitchen, so we have no idea, but yeah. I think Brian and I hopefully can do another collab in the future. Again, check him out. He's Ramen Adventures. You can find him there on all the social media accordingly. And yeah, there's something going on. A lot of clapping today besides just ribbon.
I love that. I love that building though. Like if you zoom out, that's so dope. Like,
that is a cool building.
Castle cube.
It's like a fortress where they're guarding ramen. Very cool. After saying bye to Brian, I decided to grab another bowl in the Tokorozawa area, rushing there by cab before they close for lunch. The ramen shop is Ramen Kappa House, and their ramen is a tomato ramen. The soup is pork bones and chicken bones, but with tomato, the big star of the show. Here's me after enjoying the bowl there. So, just finished the ramen at Kappa House, the tomato ramen. You don't see a lot of tomato ramen actually out there. There's a big chain that does it, but outside of that, pretty rare. And I like this bowl. It definitely leans away from traditional ramen as you would think of it, but tomatoes, of course, are a great source of umami. It was packed with flavor. Think of it as a richer tomato broth. And what I really liked was the salsa. It was almost like salsa there in the top corner. And mixing that in added a little bit of heat. Noodles were relatively thin, had a nice bite to them. For toppings, we had bean sprout and cabbage crunch, and there was a little bit of a peppery seasoning to them. And if you want to add more heat, they have Tabasco there on the table. Tabasco would normally not make sense in any ramen, but with tomato ramen, definitely does. And I think it goes well with what they were trying to achieve. Also, there were onions there for little pops of sweetness and brightness to kind of cut through some of that acidity you get from the tomatoes. Overall, very well balanced. Again, leaning away from traditional ramen, but a great bowl of tomato ramen here in Tokorozawa. And here's me after arriving back at home. Just got back from Tokorozawa. The Ramen Walker Kitchen event, of course, was spectacular. It was great to be in the same room with all those ramen heavyweights. You could feel this sort of power in the room, I think. Always good to catch up with Brian too. And I would imagine I'll be back there again, maybe to try some of the other bowls that they have going on at different times. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. This is Frank from 5AM Ramen reminding you that Tokyo is the only city in the world, let's include Saitama Prefecture and Tokorozawa, where you can have excellent ramen at 5 a.m. Thanks for tuning in.